Day morning, we've got about 4 hours or 5 hours, something like that, to get this motor done. They sent me the wrong base gasket. It didn't have the port here. I had this one and I had to cut actually this gasket out a little bit, but we're gonna get a little bit of two-stroke oil on there. And I did dump a little bit of two-stroke oil on my crank bearings, and that way it's got, when I say a little bit, about 7-8 drops. That way it's got a little bit of lubrication. We're about to drop this on. I got the base gasket on already, so make sure you've got a little pin here in your piston. You get your rings lined up with that. If it goes over the top, you've ruined everything, so get that handled. And anyway, I'm going to set this down and get that cylinder over it. Okay, got my cylinder on. I always oil my cylinder, it makes it easier, plus it's one good lubrication when you first start the motor. You notice I got a little bit there. I'll go back and hit that, maybe even hit it with some carb cleaner right quick, because you don't want any kind of oil when you go to put your head gasket on. So clean that off real good. We're about to put our head gasket on. No oil. Alright. I had 2 different gaskets that came with this kit. They both look really cheap. This one looked better out of the 2. I got to set my deal down because I got a little bit of grease on there. I'm going to clean this right quick. Alright, getting the head on. And I don't know what I did with the other head, but we're here at the shop, so I got about 5 of them here. I think I left it at home in the garage. I bet I've stuck it with my Suzuki 50 project. They look similar. I'm going to go get a 10mm, button this up. Alright. Got a new spark plug in. That'll be good. Alright, we got the bike on the stand. Ready to put this thing back in here and hope and pray I put it all together correctly. Alright, got my motor mount through. I hooked up my electronics. This one apparently we've done some wiring on, but it's white to white. It's got a clip, and then black and red to black and red. Should be good. I gotta tighten that bolt up, start putting stuff back on. Alright, I think we got time. I'm going to go ahead and clean these jets in this carburetor too. Might pick up a little bit of performance. So pulled the jets out. Used my buddy left me this little bitty screwdriver. Worked great for getting jets out. It's real skinny. Anyway, here we go on that deal. Alright, make sure when you're putting this carb back together, you've got a little adjuster screw here.
Okay.
This carb has 2 slits. That's where the adjuster screw goes. And there's a little brass tab in the back of your carb. You see it? That slides on that right there. If you spin this thing around and you have the adjuster screw on here and the tab on there, as soon as you turn your bike on, it'll be on full bore if you get it to run at all. So that would be your problem. You'd need to flip this 180 degrees. Anyway, putting it back together. Alright, got the carb back on, put the fuel line on. Went ahead and turned the fuel on to make sure I didn't have any leakages before I put everything back together. We're good there. So now we're going to put the back wheel on. Alright, I just hung this side of the swing arm with those, there's 2 bolts, so I stuck nuts on there. This had a little shaft, and so as I started moving it, it just started spinning the tire, and it locked in there. So now we'll get these bolts mounted up, get the rear end done. Put the rear shocks on. Alright, got all the back swing arm, shocks are bolted on, motor mount's bolted on. I've got the kickstart left to do. Tightened both of my bracket bolts. I got my muffler installed. Tightened the back muffler, the front muffler off the head. So I got the back brake line to do yet. And that should be about it. Kickstart. So that's about it. Here we go. Alright, we got his bike all back together. We got to zip line the brake cable to the shaft yet. Seats all on, everything. So put her on start. ready for the racetrack. That PW's done. Crank bearing, cylinder, piston, all the good stuff. Hopefully it don't blow it up real fast.